I never thought the most terrifying moment of my adult life would start with the sound of metal scraping against my front door. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day where nothing happens and you don't expect anything to happen. I was working from home, laptop open on my dining table, coffee half finished, blinds half drawn. Outside, the neighborhood was silent except for the occasional lawnmower in the distance. Then I heard it. Click, scrape, click. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then it happened again. Click, scrape. Someone was trying to unlock my front door. My stomach dropped instantly. I stood up slowly, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. Every instinct screamed danger. I didn't live in a bad neighborhood, but that didn't matter. Someone was actively trying to enter my house. I grabbed my phone with one hand and quietly moved closer to the door. That's when I heard a voice, an irritated, impatient voice. Why isn't this working? A woman, not whispering, not hiding, just annoyed. I looked through the peephole, and that's when I saw her. The HOA president, Karen, standing on my porch with a clipboard tucked under one arm and a massive ring of keys in her hand, jiggling them violently as she tried another one in my lock. I blinked. Once, twice. Surely I was misunderstanding something. She tried again. Click, scrape. The key didn't turn. She let out a loud huff and knocked, hard. Hello, HOA inspection. Inspection? At my house? Without notice? And with a key. I opened the door just enough to keep the chain on. What are you doing? I asked. Karen looked at me like I was the problem. Well, obviously I'm trying to get in, she snapped. Your key isn't working. My brain short-circuited. My was key? I repeated. Yes, she said slowly, like explaining something to a child. The HOA master key. There was a long pause. I stared at her. She stared back, and then she rolled her eyes. Look, I don't have time for this. There have been complaints. Complaints about what? I asked. Unapproved interior modifications, she said confidently. We received an anonymous report that you replaced your flooring without HOA approval. I laughed. I couldn't help it. You think you can come into my house without permission because of flooring? She crossed her arms. We have the right to inspect. No, you absolutely do not, I said. And you definitely don't have a key. Her face turned red. Yes, we do, she snapped. Every HOA has master access in emergencies. This isn't an emergency, I said. She leaned closer. It becomes one if you don't comply. That's when I shut the door, locked it, and leaned against it, shaking. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. 5 minutes later, I heard sirens. Real sirens. Police sirens. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Then I heard Karen outside, loud enough for the entire block. Yes, officer, this is the house. He refused entry and may be hiding something. I felt sick. She had called 911 on me for not letting her into my own home. I stepped outside just as 2 patrol cars pulled up. The officers approached calmly. Karen immediately rushed them. I'm the HOA president, she announced. This homeowner is refusing a lawful inspection. The officer looked at her, then at me. Sir, is that true? No, I said firmly. She tried to unlock my door with a key she shouldn't have. Karen scoffed. That's not what happened. Oh, really? I said. Then why were you trying keys before you knocked? The officer's eyebrows raised. Ma'am? Karen hesitated. Well, HOA protocol. Ma'am, the officer interrupted. Do you have permission to enter this residence? Yes, she said instantly. No, I said instantly. The officer sighed. Ma'am, do you have documentation? Karen froze. I don't have it on me. The officer turned to me. Sir, did you change the locks recently? Yes, I said, when I bought the house. Karen's eyes widened. You weren't allowed to do that. I snapped. I'm allowed to secure my own home. The officer held up his hand. Ma'am, HOAs do not have the right to enter a home without consent or a warrant unless there's an emergency like a fire or flooding. Karen's voice rose. You don't understand HOA law. The officer's tone hardened. I understand trespassing. Karen went quiet. For about 3 seconds. Then she said something that made everything worse. Well, if you won't arrest him, I'll escalate. She pulled out her phone and dialed again. I heard her say loud and clear, Yes, I'd like to report a hostile resident. He may be dangerous. That's when I snapped, because she didn't know something. I work in emergency communications. I know dispatchers. I know procedures. And I know exactly how serious a false report is. I stepped back inside, pulled up my contacts, and dialed directly. County Dispatch. the familiar voice answered. This is name, I said calmly. I'm at my residence. A woman outside falsely reported an emergency to gain access to my home. There was a pause. Say again? I described everything. Keys, door, false claims, police present. The dispatcher's tone changed immediately. Stay where you are. I stepped back outside. Karen was still arguing. Then the officer's radio crackled. Unit 12, be advised. Reporting party is suspected of filing a false emergency report. Karen's face went white. What? She said. The officer turned to her. Ma'am, is it true you attempted to access this home with a key? She stammered. And you claimed the resident was dangerous without evidence? She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. The officer sighed. Ma'am, please put your phone down. Her hands shook. I was just doing my job. No, the officer said. You were abusing authority. Another patrol car arrived. Then another. Neighbors gathered. Phones came out. Karen was escorted to the side. The officer approached me. Sir, would you like to press charges for attempted unlawful entry and harassment? I looked at Karen. At the clipboard. At the keys. Yes, I said. Her knees buckled. She was cited on the spot. The HOA was later fined. And 3 weeks later, Karen was removed as president. Turns out, I wasn't the first house. That day taught me something important. Entitlement doesn't stop at your property line, but the law does. And when someone tries to use power they don't have, sometimes the best key is knowing who to call.